What's good, peeps? It's your boy JP, and today we are reacting to another old Meezy video. Now, if you know already, I have a love-hate relationship with Meezy. I ain't gonna say hate. Hate is a strong word. I have a like and dislike take with Meezy. I mostly like him though, but he definitely can get on my nerves. But anyway, he got a video called "Content Creators Are Getting the Beats for Clip Farming." So let's see what this about. This is definitely sound like some streamers stuff that we are about to get into. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Is this court? No, but what you say? Doodle garbage. Oh, just real quick. We got going. Somebody hugged it. They actually hugged it. What you say? Doodle garbage. Like
Oh, no recording, no recording, no recording, no recording, no recording.
Like I said, clip farming has gone way too far. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with the situation, it looks like DDG has had enough of the clip farms of the nicknames. And to be honest with you, I think that this serves as a good and fair warning for those that are coming into any sort of place and space thinking that they can just clip farm. Like I've been telling people on this platform before, clip farming is not a way to make a career. It's not something that's long lasting. It's not something that is fulfilling. And ultimately, like in this situation, it led to some sort of physical violence. People don't realize these content creators can totally get upset with the clip farming and the name calling and the stuff that you get off. These people have real feelings too. So DDG gave people a fair warning just a couple days ago that if they continue with the clip farms, if they continue throwing these insults, if they continue with the name calling, then this is going to be the situation at hand.
If a fan came up to me on some doodle garbage, bro, I'ma hold that so goddamn bad, bro. No better.
Now, whether you believe DDG or not, this doo-doo garbage, name calling or insult that stemmed from Bruce dropping him off in his beef just a couple months ago is clearly affecting him. And I know that some people might think that he's soft or whatever the case may be, but the reality of the situation is if they don't know you, they're not going to tolerate it. And besides that fact, why do people think that this is the way to get content? Like, I think that this is so short.
Because people like to fight their way up to the top. And it's not me validating it because I completely agree with Meezy and DDG on bro, that's not the way to build nothing. But getting into the head of those people that are trying to build it, I would assume they are thinking, DDG, you up. Duke Dennis, you up. Casanat, you up. Whatever I gotta do to get where you at, I'ma do it. And I'm not gonna feel bad because you not gonna give it to me. So I'ma take it. It's kind of like, I would assume clip farming is like hitting a lick for streaming. Boom. I need one of them damn boomers, bro. Boom. Clip farming is like hitting a lick for streamers. They clip farm off of you. Your name is attached. They name get boosted because it's connected to yours outside of your control. And now they get more clicks just because they force their name next to you by talking shit or trying to put their hands on you. And unfortunately, that's like hitting a lick. But in streaming, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming.
Sided, and maybe they've been influenced by whoever and whatever or whatever the case may be. But even like Agent says, something that I agree with, clip farming and doing this sort of content is something that is not going to build you an audience. It's not something that's going to be long lasting, and ultimately you are going to be forgotten the next day.
Why they disrespecting him like that though? If you gonna yap nonsense to it right in front of his face, you gotta be prepared for them consequences. It's not even clip farming, it's just being trolls, bro. It's just trying to be.
And like I said, I understand what they're talking about and they're not wrong. But if you get into the mindset of people that's down, I get you say it's not gonna get you nowhere. We should keep pushing that message that it's not gonna get you nowhere. You will be forgotten. You will be forgotten the next day. It's not gonna get you nowhere. But the problem is in their head, it's worth trying. It's either do it or die trying. Don't do it or die trying. That's how they think. Like, it's worth the try. I mean, if I don't do it, I ain't getting shit. So if I try it, I get a little or something. And unfortunately, that's how clout works.
remembered. They don't even give a out or being remembered. Like, bro,
Not saying it's right. I'm just trying to get y'all into the headspace that they at. I'm not agreeing with it, but that's just how they think. I would assume. I've never done it. I don't do the streaming shit. I try to be legit, but it's the same concept with people that don't got money and people that do got money. If they don't hit a lick, they probably not gonna get no money. So if they try hitting a lick, they might get it or they might not. Either way, they still gonna be broke. You know, that's how they look at it.
gonna be remembered as I just chose to troll, bro, and then we will never hear of you again.
And I do agree with Agent, but the foundation of streaming has totally shifted in the past couple of years, where this is what people see as entertainment. This is what people see as the content. They believe that
That makes sense too.
getting their name out there no matter what and no matter what expense is the way to go about doing these things. But ultimately what he's saying is 1,000% right. At best, this guy will be remembered as the guy who got snuffed out by Dub and whatever cameraman and DDG and his whole collective. At worst, he'll be back to punching the clock. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you did all this in an attempt to become famous for what? Now, I'm not advocating for physical violence, so I wanted to see what Dub and DDG and the rest of the gang had to say about this, because although I don't agree with people insulting people, I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt and hear them out at least.
But you think about it, you got people like Adrian the plumber, or what's his name? Adrian the plumber. I think that's his name, Adrian the plumber. Shout out to him. I ain't got no beef with him, but the way he was on Pop the Balloon, and now he got a whole career behind that shit. So it's like you see other people do it, you like, why not I do it too? Like I said, I don't agree with it. I'm just trying to help y'all get into the mindset of where they at.
Grab me, I hit the. So then I'm like, bro, what the? It was like a large crowd, and security grabbed me. I'm like, bro,
I see Tiny sleep dog, boy. I'm like, damn.
yeah, my didn't even get on that.
Nah, yes it did.
No, it didn't.
Yes it did. I see Jason holding your camera and everything.
No, but I had no signal. I had 200.
Nah, your had signal when we did that skit.
Yeah, they said it didn't show anything.
Nah, I know, but still, like, you know how that be, bro. They banned Kelly for a skit, man. I ain't trying to get banned for a skit.
Now, I think DDG was really just trying to save face here. He didn't want to get banned from the con. He didn't want any sorts of issues with Twitch, any sort of lawsuit or anything like that, and he'll deal with it in the private eye. I think that he's a very strategic and tactical person, so, you know, doing those things, he's good at covering them up. But ultimately, at the end of the day, and I can give this perspective because I am literally on the grounds of DreamCon. I came down for the weekend, and I'm recording this video hours after the situation happened. None of this really did anything at the con. None of this shook the airwaves. And all this guy got was the brakes beat off him. He was so unmemorable after the situation, it's almost amazing. Which has me thinking again about points that I've had in the past about clip farming and what it does for you. In my last video about Streamer University, I had a take about these new content creators getting into this.
And shout out to y'all that came to DreamCon. I that's not really my thing. But I rock with people that go. I know people that went and they are big fans of anime and all that. And just the streamers in general. So I got a homie that was taking pictures, doing all his whole thing, right? So shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? I should have met Omizi out here and be like, what's popping? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with that dude. He actually a cool dude. I'm just talking shit. You know what I mean? I just like talking shit.
And don't rely on clip farming because it is not going to be something that will benefit you in the long run. If you don't remember, there were some content creators who had broke into Agent 00's room because they thought that he was running some black market and wanted to play into this whole theme of I'm taking advantage of the black market, stealing from it. But they literally broke into his actual room where actual things are, and it did not turn out the best for these guys.
Where is Jay at? Y'all think it's appropriate to come in my room while I'm not there? It's a difference between content.
Even in that interaction, No Limit Jay still doesn't understand the difference. Agent is seriously looking for him and voluntarily says, I'm right here. Now, I don't think he's being forthcoming and truthfully saying, hey, this is me, I'm No Limit Jay. I think he still thinks that this is still a part of some elaborate skit and scam, but he doesn't realize that he's crossed the line. He's literally broke into somebody's room, and all for the sake of getting a clip up. Now, in Agent's sit down and hashing out of the situation, he gave No Limit Jay a warning, something that we've been giving out for a long time that a lot of these content creators do not understand.
I didn't think this was actually your personal room. They said black market. They said Asian black market. They said this room. So I came up here.
It has beds, it has things. Like,
no, I know, but I'm not thinking. You know, there's
so
multiple
look, bro,
rooms.
there's
If
you came in here and on some content,
did.
busted in the room. If I'm in the room, I'm saying,
Right.
you coming in here with a camera, you got to think. Oh, we just minimize it. My analytics is up.
No,
like,
no,
my
I didn't come
stream
here.
is up.
That's
My
what I'm saying,
count is
though.
up. It doesn't matter.
I understand that.
You
You're
came in the room. You didn't know where the stuff was, right?
You're right.
Because we hit
I
it.
didn't, that's what I'm saying. I didn't come all in these rooms like that. I
Bro,
was just peeking around,
just
and then we
let
walked
me
in there.
let me share some intel with you, my.
Sure.
There's lines, bro.
And while I get what Agent is saying, and I totally wholeheartedly agree, we have to look back at what's been happening over the past couple of years with content creation and realize that a lot of the stuff that's going on today are from actions of the past, stuff that we should.
Duh. And this is why I never really got into streaming, because I thought it was just childish to begin with. I thought it was a bunch of dudes trying to be funny, doing crash out stuff. Like, y'all know the streamers, and I ain't talking about just black. I'm talking about all of them. Like, I know some of the crash out stuff you talking about. Especially the IRL ones. Y'all know how they was getting down. This is just leveling up the playing field. And again, you still got those small streamers that want to hit a lick by starting shit with you, because it automatically puts their name next to yours. And like I said, it's not right. But like you about to say, this is just progression. And when you do stuff like this, you're not bringing real value. And I'm not trying to shit on no streamers, but it's a certain level of value that's just morally correct and morally not. And when you're doing unmoral shit, you're not bringing no real value. You're bringing temporary excitement just for people to scratch off for some bullshit, and your name will forever be attached to it. You know what I mean? You just don't. And then what if you decide to change your name, like Logan Paul or Jake Paul, whichever Logan. Like Logan, he tried to change his aura after all that, but that moment he did in the woods is still following him to this day. You don't want to be that guy. Stop it.
Stopped and nipped in the bud a long time ago, but because we are now here, we're getting mad at basically these new creators for doing these things that their favorite creators have been doing in the past. Like, they're convinced that this is their way out, like this is the way to get a bunch of money, and they're willing to do any and everything in order to get that money.
All right, y'all. I guess I'm getting fired.
We knew that.
Yes!
Wait, what?
When the fucking...
Was he there the whole time?
I said the same shit.
Corey 2U was a big success at Streamer University. You know,
I'm telling y'all, this might be a CIA experiment. Because think about it, and this is also some conspiracy theory shit. I'm not even one of them niggas, but I just saw this nigga in the corner acting like that. You telling me AI ain't smarter than that nigga? AI is coming up the same time y'all niggas is coming down with this crazy streamer shit. Some of y'all are smart. Like, shout out to Casanet. But y'all worry about clip farming for streamer shit while AI is taking your jobs. This sounds like some CIA shit. I'm just saying, think about it. I ain't saying it is. Think about it.
advantage of the whole situation, had DDG react to him and his clip farming attempts, and it went over fairly well. He didn't put anybody in harm's way. But the idea of creating the content being just a continuous clip farm for what he says to be money, to me, just doesn't sit right. Because I have to ask, how far are you willing to go?
I went to Streamer U broke. My account was negative 612. My credit cards were maxed out, all because of content. I owed $322.50 on the Cash App. You know what's crazy, Chad? I had no bread to get back on that flight and check in any bags. I'm telling you, God is real, bro.
An inspirational story, but a warning sign nonetheless, because at the end of the day, there's something that is supposed to be more aspirational and inspirational to content creation than getting the money from doing said content creation. Because all that happens is you realize that the negative things, the clip farms, the over-the-top takes are the things that reign supreme. So you're willing to do any and everything in order to basically get it off. So once they start to learn that people like DDG are essentially the method, they're going to continue to rehash that over and over and over and over again, even if it means getting hands put on you or distracting from what is supposed to be a beautiful moment at something like Streamer University, where people are coming to actually physically learn.
Alright, I'm gonna let them rock out with that, but yeah, I agree. I agree with Omizi 100%. First time on his channel so far. But nah, I agree with him 100%. And that's why even me, like sometimes I record videos, I'm like, I rewatch it, I'm like, and this might not come off the right way. I ain't gonna post it. Now, I could post it, and it'd be hella controversial. But then do I really want that to follow me? I'm 31. So I'm a lot more conscious of this type of stuff. I want to have a normal life. Well, say normal, but I want to have a decent life with low controversy, right? I don't mind progressive controversy, not stupid, right? So sometimes I even be like, you know what, maybe I need to re-edit that video, or maybe I just shouldn't put it out at all because it might not. But see, this is where Patreon come in. So, once I get subscribed and I get these numbers up, be looking out for a Patreon where all my uncensored shit will really go. Where I talk about this stuff on different levels, right? But anyway, yeah. So shout out to them. Yeah, y'all gotta stop with the cliff farming. It's just not. It's not gonna get you nowhere. You will be a moment that will be forgotten within a week or two, and then we'll be moving on to the next. And then if you start off clip farming, you gotta keep going from that. You gotta keep topping that. Do you know how bad that gets? Just be yourself. You know what I mean? Doing this, if that means I'm gonna be only getting 2 subscribers a week or 2 subscribers a month, then that's just what it's gonna be until I figure this out. You know what I mean? You just want to be yourself, and there's people out there. It's billions of people in this world. It's enough people. 100,000 people ain't a lot in comparison to a billion, and you can get some of that. It's 100,000 people that like you just the way you is. My goal is just to find them. So YouTube, help me out. Till next time. Oh, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so so I know you one of those 100,000 people. Till next time, I'm out. Dose.